up your lead rope. Pick up your lead rope. The horse is literally stepping on the lead rope. Never trust a guy who shows up to a barn in skinny jeans and a sweater and claims to be a professional trainer. That's all I learned from this. The horse is literally stepping on the lead rope. Oh, God. This is what it's come to. Hey bitch, and welcome back to another video of me talking about people I hate. I know I took a little bit of a hiatus off over the last week, you guys. Thank you so much for your patience. I just have so much going on right now in my life, and as you guys know, I recently deleted all of my social media accounts, just mostly because I don't find social media to be a useful tool in my life apart from business, but I no longer have any personal social media accounts. The only one that I have from here moving forward is just my YouTube channel. So if you guys see any Raleigh Lilith or Raleigh Link accounts, definitely just be aware that those are not me. That is just most likely a fan account. But before we get into this video, you guys, I want to say first of all that please subscribe to my Patreon or YouTube members, and thank you to everyone who does, because I post extra horse content over there 3 to 4 times a month. And also, if you want a behind the scenes into my life, since I no longer have social media, I guess that's the only close thing to social media anymore where you guys kind of get a glimpse into my life. Also, I want to say a huge, massive thank you to this video's sponsor, which is Ana Luisa Jewelry. As you guys know, I've been working with Ana Luisa for so long, and we recently launched the Raleigh Link Ana Luisa collection. I put so much hard work into this collection, as well as the Ana Luisa team, and we really just thought through each piece of jewelry that we wanted on the page, that we wanted to be part of this collection. I absolutely love their jewelry. I wear their jewelry in every single video. It lasts for so long. It's so beautiful. As you guys know, I'm very into gold, so all my jewelry is gold. But I've been wearing their jewelry for years. Some of my Ana Luisa rings I've had for 2 and 3 years, and they still look amazing. So definitely head on over. It's going to be the first link in the description, and pick some up. I'm telling you, usually I get a lot of wacky video submissions that we react to on this channel, but today we are reacting for the first time in a long time to a video that I found myself, and this was actually shockingly recommended to me by the YouTube algorithm, which I swear listens to me every day. I got really freaked out and I turned the microphone on my phone off because I was like, girl, they're listening to you, okay? As you guys know, I talk a lot about how my horse Link was severely traumatized at a very early stage in his life and in his psychological development, and he absolutely hates going into a trailer. He's severely traumatized by it. I don't know what happened. It must have happened before I rescued him when he was 2 years old, but my horse Link is possibly the worst horse I've ever seen when it comes to trailering, and I am, at this point, an expert on how to trailer extremely traumatized horses, because I see people say all the time that their horse is bad when their horse, I'm like, girl, your horse is nowhere near as bad as my horse. You don't even know what a bad horse is when it comes to trailering until you see my horse. The point that I'm making is I am very passionate about trailering horses the right way, because I think a lot of people mess things up in early stages when it comes to training their horses, and a lot of people are very hard on horses for not being able or being comfortable with doing unnatural things. Something that's important to note is trailering is a very unnatural thing for a horse to do. So it's completely normal for a horse to not want to go into a trailer. And it upsets me a lot when people talk about how their horse is just bad and why doesn't my horse go in? Well, first things first, you guys have to realize Trailering is not natural for horses. Keep that in mind whenever you're watching a video of somebody who's talking about how their horse is so bad. You've got to find a trainer that actually understands horse psychology and understands the reasons behind why the horse doesn't want to go in the trailer in the first place, because otherwise, without that level of understanding, you're just going to get someone who's going to beat the horse to a pulp or completely misunderstand why the horse doesn't want to go in. People think that horses are just stubborn, and that's why they don't want to go in trailers, which is almost never the case. It's mostly because horses are naturally claustrophobic animals, and going into a tiny, tight space like that is unnatural. And it's very scary for a horse to do something that's not natural for them. So again, be very lenient when you're training your horse how to trailer. This guy's just, I can't even describe it. Like, you just have to see it. TD Atkin Horse Training and Education. You know, it upsets me so bad this day and age how any person could just call themselves an internet trainer.
She's a 14-year-old thoroughbred. We don't know whether she ever raced or not. We've had her 2 years. She's been difficult to float the whole time we've had her. And she's calm in lots of ways. She's really easy to shoe. She's easy to catch. She'll work fine in the round yard, under saddle. But once she decides she doesn't want to do something, she gets a bit psycho. And floating is one of the things she really hates doing, and we don't know why.
Oh my God, a huge red flag. Whenever I hear owners say, oh, she's just psycho, she just gets psycho. No, you have no idea what you're talking about. Horses don't just become psycho, okay? The horse is terrified of going into a trailer, and that's a very natural, normal thing. And I hate it when people demonize horses for having a very natural response to certain stimuli or situations. That's incredibly natural for a horse to not want to go in a trailer. Stop setting horses up to fail by putting unrealistic expectations on them. Also, bitch, can we just talk about what this guy's wearing? He showed up to professionally train horses in a sweater, skinny jeans, and those look like just sneakers. What are you doing? Dude, I mean, I literally put thought and care into getting dressed up to film these types of videos for you guys. And this guy claims to be a professional horse trainer, and he shows up looking like he's going to some sort of Walmart fashion week. Also, it bothers me so bad that this guy claims to be a professional, and he doesn't even hold the lead rope right. Look at that. Look at that, bitch. Look at how he's holding the lead rope, and you're gonna claim to be a professional? Bro, you don't even know what you're doing. That is so dangerous. It actually makes me laugh because that's one of the first things you learn when you're a child is how to correctly hold a lead rope. So that way your hand doesn't get messed up. If the horse takes off running, it doesn't get twisted in the rope and the horse breaks your hand or drags you. And also so that way you keep the lead rope out of the way so you don't step on it, get tangled. The horse doesn't step on it, get tangled, mixed signals all around. Just so many red flags. This guy also can't seem to realize that this horse is lame. The horse has tripped multiple times in just the first, 35 seconds. Not to mention that the horse's body condition score is very poor. I mean, this horse is at least 100 pounds underweight.
So what I was looking to do with this filly in the round yard before I took it to the float was just to try and get the groundwork drills down pat with her as much as possible before I took her to the area where I was going to be working her. So my goal was to work her outside the float and let her rest inside the float. So the float was a place of rest, and outside the float was where she was put to work. So hopefully I could make the float the place that she would look to want to be in. Now she wasn't scared of the float. She wasn't scared of the tight spaces. She wasn't claustrophobic. She wasn't touchy in the float, so it was pretty much just her just...
Dude, stop. If this horse were to take off, that guy would immediately get tangled in the lead rope because he's too lazy and too ignorant and too dumb to hold the lead rope correctly, and yet he wants to call himself a professional trainer. He is lunging the horse in such a tight circle, which is so incredibly dangerous. The horse could easily lash out, kick him. He could again get tangled and dragged. The horse could run him over. Not to mention that this horse doesn't even know how to lunge that well. And this guy's wanting to push the horse into a trailer. Maybe teach the horse some foundational training first. Like, I don't know, how to lunge properly. How can you make it that far in life and claim that you're a professional trainer and you don't even see these incredibly glaring red flags? Oh, gee, the horse doesn't even know how to lunge. Maybe I shouldn't even be trying anything else. He mentioned that the technique that he's going to use is the incredibly overused and washed up technique of work the horse out here so they can rest over here. That's, I mean, literally every single trainer who is just mediocre or less than uses that training method because they don't have anything else. And that's just really a pressure and release training method. It's you're going to work the horse over here so they know they can rest on the trailer. Listen, that method, and I know from experience, it does not work with horses that are fearful of trailers. You have to get the horse comfortable with the trailer on its own before you try stressing them in a situation like that. Even psychologically speaking, adding pressure to terrified horses could cause some sort of psychological trauma response from the horse, making it an even more terrifying situation.
Not wanting to go in there. So what I was looking to do is try and instill some behavior where she can consistently be loaded in any environment. Even when she didn't want to be loaded, we could just go back to these groundwork drills and remind her that we have control of her feet. And if she doesn't want to go on the float, she'll go to work. And as soon as she goes onto the float, she can rest. So what I'm doing here is just changing direction with her. By changing direction, I'm also getting her to understand I can control her feet and control where she wants to go. You can see she's pretty resistant here and there, wanting to continue to go in the direction that she originally was. So she just took a little bit of work to have her understand that I could move her feet backwards and forwards, left and right, when I chose to, and pretty much teaching her that where I asked her to go was where she needed to go. Now the resistance you can see in her here is pretty much the resistance she was looking to put into place when she didn't want to go on the float. You see she's sort of looking to the outside of the circle there.
Oh my God. That guy almost got ran over right there. Oh man, I wish that the horse would have taken off and just dragged him. His feet would have easily gotten tangled in the lead rope. It's literally dragging on the ground. Zero safety precautions were taken, okay? Safety was not even in the room. Also, it just bothers me to my core that this horse is lame and visibly doesn't understand anything or even how to lunge. If you notice, as soon as the horse is confused, he just starts hitting the horse with the whip because the horse just doesn't know what to do. And his response, instead of being like, oh, maybe I should actually teach you how to lunge properly, he just starts smacking the horse so the horse goes the other way. It's just so lazy, dude. This type of training is just so lazy. And it's like anybody can watch one person say, oh, work the horse and then give release here, and then they think they're a trainer. There's so much more to training a horse than just pressure and release. That is just one small element to training. And he's honestly so lucky that this horse is as forgiving as she is, because it just gets worse.
So as I'm moving her towards the float here, this is just some ground just outside the float. Some nice flat ground where we can work. It's a bit stony, a bit sort of coarse, so we couldn't really do too much work here, but we're just going to work her here around outside the float and then try and bring her up close to the float.
Pick up your lead rope. Pick up your lead rope. The horse is literally stepping on the lead rope. Oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. I cannot believe that this video exists. This is literally one of the most embarrassing training videos I've ever seen. This is the equivalent of somebody who goes into Walmart and reads the How to Train Horses for Dummies book and then calls themselves a professional trainer and creates a YouTube channel saying that they're a pro. This is literally, I bet you that's what that guy did. He doesn't even dress right. At least other trainers that are bad appear to look like a real trainer. The horse is literally stepping on the lead rope. Oh God. This is what it's come to. It's honestly so laughable that this guy considers himself a trainer.
And just let her rest close to it. So I wasn't too concerned about trying to rush to get her on, because it wasn't necessarily the amount of time it took to get her on the float today in this session. It was about instilling the fact that the float was the rest spot and outside the float was the work spot. So we're just trying to work out different magnets of where she wanted to stand, where she wanted to stop, and make those places of work instead of places of rest, and then bring her close to float and let her learn that the closer she was to float, the closer she was to getting rest and being able to relax. So early on, I wasn't too concerned about getting her on. I just wanted to rest her near it. Then I'd take her away, start putting her to work again. Now, I would have liked to lunge around on some bigger circles here, but she was kind of getting in my space a little bit, and I was a little apprehensive about the ground and not wanting her to slip over. But
she was kind of getting in my space a bit. I'm sorry. Am I the only person who's been consistently seeing the 1 foot length that he allows this horse on the lead? Am I blind? Or have you been holding the lead rope almost all the way up to the horse's chin, and you have the audacity to say, she's been getting in my way? He's literally only giving the horse a foot of lead. The other 10 feet of lead is dragging on the ground. It's on the ground. What are you talking about? The horse isn't giving him space. What?
and just sort of learn about where she'd be resistant. So you see, she's just trying to duck her hip away to the side here and try and get away from going on the float. As I said, she wasn't scared of it at all. She was kind of just didn't really want to go on. But it was just a situation of pretty much getting control of her feet, having her understand that where I put her, where I direct her is where she needs to go. And when she didn't want to go on the float and wanted to take a backward step, we just go straight back to work.
What? When she didn't want to go on the float, you were standing in her way. You were standing right in front of her. Am I crazy? What am I watching? I feel like I'm the one going crazy right now. She didn't want to go on the float. Bitch, maybe because you were standing in her way. And he punishes her for that. He makes her do work. A lame horse. Poor horse, man. The horse is skinny and lame and not doing anything wrong. And he's standing in front of her way, preventing her from showing interest or going on the horse trailer. And he's like, oh, bad. You're creating stuff out of thin air. The problems that you speak of don't exist. How much do you want to bet if you put this horse with a real professional, she probably would go on right away, no problems. Also, his choice of tack is very interesting and very telling. He specifically chose to use a rope halter for this horse. I'm assuming because what he's going to do is tie the horse to the interior of, like, the interior divider inside the trailer once he gets the horse in, so he can try and pull her in. And if she pulls back, it's a rope halter, so she can't break the halter. I've seen a lot of trainers who don't know what they're doing do that, especially when they're trying to rush the training.
Do groundwork drills. Groundwork drills would work on me getting control of her feet and having her understand I can move her where I wanted to, as well as putting her to work and making things a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit difficult for her to want to stand outside the float until we got closer. So different resistance spots there. Like I said, she wanted to try and duck her hip out and not want to go on. So we just sort of wanted to work on that. So as far as timing goes and wanting to get her on the float speedily, I suppose you could have put pressure on her from behind and she would have gone on, because she's just simply been resistant and not scared. So it wasn't a situation of overcoming fear as well as her not wanting to go on. It was just simply her.
I love this. I love it when fake horse trainers pretend like they understand anything about the horse's emotions. You don't know what the horse is thinking or feeling. That's just a projection. Nobody knows unless you're potentially a horse psychologist and an expert body language reader. But no, you have literally no idea why this horse doesn't want to go on the trailer. And I hate it. It's such a huge pet peeve of mine when trainers say, oh, the horse isn't scared. She just doesn't want to go. She's just being a brat. You don't know that. Okay, and you also don't know if the horse is in pain or not. You have no idea what's going on inside the horse's head. So please stop pretending like you do, because you don't, and it just makes you look like an idiot. Anytime you hear somebody say that they know what the horse is thinking and feeling, immediate red flag. Don't listen to them. They are idiots. They have no idea what's going on inside the horse's head. They're just making shit up in their favor to make them look better to the audience. My God, this guy's so full of shit, it just keeps coming out.
Trying to instill some training in her where the owners could consistently load her on day after day when I wasn't there and keep putting into practice the things that she'd learned today and load her every day after I'd left. She was a horse that would naturally sort of look to get into your space and crowd you a little bit as well. So I could probably, in hindsight, I probably could have let her out in a bit of a bigger circle, but you can see at different times there she just looked to come over top me, so I just needed to use a stick as a bit of a barrier there to encourage her to stay out of my space when she get a little bit closer and look to walk over top me. I think generally she was quite a sweet, kind horse. She didn't look to kick out at all. She didn't look to do anything nastily. She just simply been evasive. And you see her kicking her hip out and wanting to move sideways when she get close to the float, was just her just looking for a little bit of a way out. Now, quite often when you're working with their horses, there's always a magnet. So what I mean by magnet is there's always a place where the horse would want to go and want to try and duck out and get to. So when I was working her at one point there, you'll see that she wants to go back to her paddock and back to her gates. That was a bit of a magnet to her. She wanted to go back to where her home was, where she thought the rest spot was, where she usually gets to let where she's let go and allowed to go back into her paddock and relax. So that's in the further sort of clip forward, you'll see that she'll look to go back there. So at this point, I'm just looking to get one foot on the ramp to start to build a little bit.
Oh my God, I hate this guy so much. He's so stupid. It just gets worse. It's just word vomit at this point. I don't even think he knows what he's saying. The voiceover is so bad. It's like, what are you even saying? Do you even know what's coming out of your mouth? Firstly, the horse doesn't want to be around him. All this shit about magnets, you have no idea what you're saying. The horse specifically doesn't want to be around you because you're causing unnecessary amounts of pressure and confusion. The horse doesn't know what you want, and you keep adding pressure to the situation and no release, okay? He's literally asking the horse to go into a trailer while standing directly in front of her and putting pressure on her with a whip. That's just pressure, pressure, pressure all around, and you're blocking her from going in, and the lead rope's dragging on the ground, for Christ's sake. For the 15,000th time, pick up your damn rope.
Just sort of increase that little barrier where she doesn't want to go on. Ask her to always improve from where she was standing last time to where I let her rest the next. So, I let her rest close to the float, then I want her to rest now with 1 foot, 2 feet, and then back feet up on the float. If she wants to take a backward step and think that's a way out, then I'll let her commit to that mistake, and then we'll go back to work. So, like I said, it's just a process of letting her commit to her.
This is just speculation. It's just my opinion, but I guarantee you he beat the crap out of that horse. Every single time you see the horse back out of the trailer, there's always a cut in the video. Why? Probably because it's some crazy shit that he doesn't want to leave in the video. Everything that he left in the video, because it's edited, is what he thinks makes this look like the best possible training. And the shit that he left in is so bad. Imagine what the shit that he cut out is. The horse is literally standing on the lead rope. I can't.
Back to a yard, make that a situation where we go back to work and do more groundwork, and then bring her back to the float and let her rest back on the float. So at different points, I need to sort of give a bit of encouragement to take that next step up onto the ramp and let her rest further and further up onto the float. But eventually, she sort of starts to understand that the closer she is up on the float, the better it is, and the more the pressure gets released. And as soon as she tries to duck out and pull away, we go back to work. So when you see here, she's looking to go back to where her paddock was.
Yeah, massive, massive cut in that video. You know what probably happened? She probably pulled back and ran away because he's got such a terrible grip on the lead rope. She probably pulled away from him and ran off. And then he had to go catch her, and he just cut that out. This is possibly the dumbest horse trainer I've ever seen. And what makes this so stupid is the fact that he edited this and uploaded it to make himself look like a good trainer.
And go back to that magnet there. So I just sort of worked her around there and just sort of increased the pressure back there and just worked her around until we sort of hustled back to the float. And as soon as we got back, we let her rest. So like I said, it wasn't a situation trying to rush to get her on. And I didn't really want to pull on her head, because once I did, she straight away started to pull back against it. So I wanted to use the stick as the accelerator.
You know, he says that he's not rushing her, but he is, because every time he gets her on the trailer, he's just pressure, pressure, pressure with the whip. You've got to let the horse chill, dude. You're just doing nothing but pressure. You give pressure outside the trailer, and then you're giving pressure on the trailer, and you wonder why the horse doesn't want to be there. He's not even doing his own training method correctly. Imagine being so dumb that you don't even use your own training method correctly. He doesn't even know how to use the correct pressure and release training method that he's talking about. He's just doing fancy words. This is the equivalent of someone saying, oh, I'm going to teach the horse how to pee off, and this is me doing my pee off in my video. And in reality, it's just them doing a trot. Like, do you even know what pressure and release is, bro, or what? Where you been?
And use the head collar and the lead as a bit of a directional tool to keep her nose pointing up the float, and until she went on. So once she goes on here, we just let her rest in the float, get her breath back, let the float be where she wants to be, and let her learn that's where she wants to be. Then we back her out, do more groundwork, and let her come on again. And then as soon as we get that done consistently, we'll get the owners in, teach the owner the groundwork drills I was doing, so we can keep that good behaviour going. And when they look to load her, if she looks to be resistant, they can go back to that groundwork drills.
Dude, their tire's flat. These people are trying to load a horse in a trailer where the frickin' tire's flat. Also, I just have to say that it looked to me an awful lot like what he did at the end was he wrapped the lead rope around one of the interior bars inside the trailer to prevent the horse from pulling back, because you guys see this swaying motion where it looks like the horse was potentially trying to back up. And then he just kept tightening it, so the horse just felt like the only release I can get is if I go fully in the trailer. The reason I'm saying that is because that's really convenient that happens at the very end of his video, because that's a training method that a lot of trainers, it's not really a training method, it's just flooding, but that's a method that a lot of trainers use to force horses inside trailers at the end of their session to make it look like they actually trained the horse to go in, when in reality, all they're doing, which is the purpose for the rope halter, is they're just tying the horse up inside the trailer and tightening it as the horse comes in so the horse can't back out. I guarantee you that's what he did, because he's trying to make it look like, oh, look at me, I trained this horse in 10 minutes to go into a trailer, no problem. I'm the best. I'm the best horse trainer there is. He didn't teach this horse anything at all. He just taught the horse that this person has no idea what release is. Every time I go up to a trailer, I'm going to be confused for all eternity. And the horse probably isn't going to want a trailer the next few times. he honestly just abused this horse psychologically, in my opinion, if not physically as well. I mean, he obviously cut out the parts where he was beating the horse if he was doing that, because that would make him look even more unfavorable than this already does. It upsets me really bad because there's a ton of psychological damage going on in this video. This horse is definitely going to not only be fearful of trailers, but people as well. And the next time somebody works with this horse, it's just going to take them 20 million times longer to get the horse in a trailer. Again, this is why you have to be so careful around fake trainers, because they could potentially ruin your horse psychologically for a long time. Again, horses have phenomenal memories. This is not a joke. So definitely take it seriously when you choose trainers to work with, because your horse will remember shit for a very long time.
So the most important thing when I'm going to work with someone else's horse is have them be able to replicate the behavior we're training during the session when I'm not there. So if you want to have a look at some of the drills I'm doing when I'm training my horses to...
Oh my God, shut up. Okay, I can't even deal with this guy anymore. You seriously have no idea what you're talking about, and he's just using buzzwords to make it sound like he knows what he's talking about. The amount of times that he says, instill this training or behavior. Never trust a guy who shows up to a barn in skinny jeans and a sweater and claims to be a professional trainer. That's all I learned from this. Now that shit show is over, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and you had fun just making fun of this person. Honestly, he deserves it, because the amount of damage he did to this horse is just horrible and it's astronomical. And trainers like this need to be made fun of, because these types of trainers are dangerous. They will ruin people's horses and claim that they know what they're talking about for other people to follow. And in turn, it ruins other people's horses. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, a massive thank you to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this. You can check them out down below. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.